It's a huge thrill to be joined by one of the leading hosts of global cricket and both the face and voice of games through multiple World Cups and big games. Of course, we're doing this through the great friends of ours at Wise.
Great friends.
Higgins, Wise is out for doing things in other currencies. It takes minutes to set up an account, enabling you to spend overseas without hidden fees. Now, with cricketers, when we do these interviews, we tend to introduce them by callously reading out their on-field statistics and just reducing them to their bare numbers.
Bare numbers.
And I thought we'd just do the same with a presenter. 1 million followers on Instagram, 151k on Twitter. No, I'm kidding. This woman's own Instagram bio says, Mama, digital insider for ICC, sports presenter, nerd, which gives us a good base from which to launch this conversation. We are in Central Park, New York City. It's the fabulous and famous Sanjana Ganesan. Sanjana, thanks for actually agreeing to come onto The Grade Cricketer.
Oh, I am so excited to be doing this. Welcome to New York City. I saw that you were in Dallas before this. I'm psyched. That was a really sweet introduction. Thank you.
You're welcome. There's not really much you can do with this question, but you're actually a pretty big deal in India, aren't you?
I mean, I don't like to think of myself that way, but yes, I am. Ask around and they'll say yes. I started working in cricket by accident, and that was back in 2016. And cricket is something of a religion and a big one where I come from. And just by association, I got pretty famous, and that's sweet.
You know, the first time we met, it was at
the... Do you remember the first time we met?
Yes.
Yeah.
MCG?
At the MCG.
Yes. And you were just so polite and just a normal person to us. And it's to our great shame and embarrassment and how dumb we looked that we had no idea who you were. And it was actually our friend Danish who said, "Do you know who that is?" And we said, "No."
Because we're in the media centre, and we were standing. You introduce yourself to us, and we, just another fan.
I pay Danish to do that.
Just another fan.
I thought you were one of the caterers at Stars. Yeah, I shouldn't have asked for a drink.
Do you know who she is?
I'm very normal on most days.
Yeah, that speaks to our ignorance of Indian sport. And
so, how famous are you? Because we didn't know who.
Just a wee bit. But it was so fun to see you at the MCG because I'm somebody who watches your show, and my husband has it on in the house a lot, so my son watches it too. And it was a fan moment for me. And then I sort of slipped Danish that $10 and told him to tell me who I was.
What a game that was! That was the Kohli game, the Harris Rauf against Kohli match, the 6 down the ground. That was our first experience of an India-Pakistan game, and it's. I mean, Kohli said afterwards, I think it's one of his greatest moments. I mean, that was unbelievable, the electricity. But I would presume you've been to many India-Pakistan fixtures. Of course, one coming up this Sunday. But where does that one fit in for you? That game?
Oh, absolutely, right at the top.
Yeah.
I was slightly bummed about that last over because I had to rush downstairs, and I was standing behind the dugouts and behind a bunch of people, and I couldn't see any of the action. I was just looking at the scoreboard. But I've watched it back, and what a game that was!
Yeah.
I mean, it just ebbed and flowed so well, and at no point did you know which way it was going to go. And that crowd at the MCG, it's been my favorite stadium since the moment I walked in there. The Women's T20 World Cup in 2020, I hosted the final there, out in the middle, and I fell in love with the stadium, and this just lived up to all of my expectations and just went above and beyond.
We have obviously India-Pakistan on Sunday.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And as Higo said, that was our first experience. Can you somehow capture what India-Pakistan means from a fan perspective? Before I even get to a work and family perspective for you, what where does it sit and what does it mean? How do you feel heading into that match?
As a fan, it's everybody's plan when a World Cup schedule comes out. Everybody just instantly looks for when India's playing Pakistan.
It's so weird, unbelievable.
Where the big bucks come from.
Yeah, what?
That's why you do it.
Oh, I thought it was randomised.
It's always USA, Canada in the same group.
It's where the eyeballs are and where the money comes in from. But randomly picked, of course.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's almost, there's electricity in the stadium when you're watching it. Even when you're watching it at home, there has always been such a strong sentiment of just coming together, and everybody's patriotic side just comes to the forefront. Everybody's Indian all of a sudden. Everyone knows the national anthem, every word of it. But it's fantastic. It just brings people together in a way that and nothing else does, and it's electric.
Some of the players, I mean, all the players, they seem really friendly between India and Pakistan. I mean, I saw when you had your son, and Pakistan and India just played against each other, and Shah Afridi, he gave Jasprit a present, a gift. Like, so I imagine like they're actually quite close off the field. Are they? Or are they close at all?
They are. It's wonderful. So when Jasprit was leaving the Asia Cup from Sri Lanka to come back home because I was giving birth, he met the Sri Lankan team in the airport lounge, and they all asked why he was going back, and he told them. And
I would have been happy with that.
Wow,
where are we going? Yeah.
They had the loveliest things to say, and they were all about the blessings and the good wishes, and he came back feeling so positive and wonderful about just that interaction. And Shaheen actually gave us a lovely gift basket. It wasn't just one gift. There was a bunch of stuff in there for Angad that he still uses. But yeah, over the years, that rivalry has become a camaraderie, and it's so nice to see both these teams sort of play good cricket on field and then just be so nice to each other off it.
I mean, there's normal human behaviour, but part of me kind of wants them to all hate each other, but they're all just friends.
Yeah, they're all just nice.
They're all characters in my drama and my movie that I need in my life.
As an Australian, I'm outside of it completely. So
I'm sitting on my couch. I've got Dorito crumbs on my belly while I'm watching this, and I want them all to have.
How come they don't hate each other?
Yeah, that's a question a lot of Indians ask. But I'm sure from across the border, fans are wondering that as well. But it's just such a nice bunch of boys on both sides, and there's no real reason to be anything other than nice to each other. I don't understand. I understand the rivalry bit of it, but that's just on field, and when they're playing cricket. Off it, everyone's lovely, and that's how it should be.
It's a very reasonable, normal comment to make, and it's good to see.
Who are the bad guys in at the moment?
It's all right. We need bad guys.
England?
Just staying with India, Pakistan.
No comment
one thing I remember... Poor English people listening to this show, they just get hammered every time. They're also nice people too. Anyway, I remember in the media box that time, there was a funereal feel as Pakistan appeared to be marching towards victory. And I could be wrong, but almost like a sadness in the box, because there is, as a broadcaster, and even like as a people who put stuff on YouTube.
That's the official job title.
That's right. Like,
there's broadcasters
not going to put us in that same category.
Yeah. As top level professionals,
as silly garage internet YouTubers. So much. There is so much commercial opportunity associated with Team India winning. Do you feel that at you obviously feel that at a family level? Which I think is very understandable, but like as a broadcaster, it's kind of strange, isn't it? It's like, gee, everything's going well if someone scores some runs, I'll take some wickets.
Just surprisingly, wanting India to win was everything I knew for such a long time, because I'm from India. But at that MCG game, surprisingly, there was equal support for both sides.
There was.
So even though some of the pockets in the media areas were quiet, outside there was cheering throughout. So no matter which side the game went, there was support, which was new to me as a fan even, and was nice to see, because that was the first game that I saw with that much Pakistan support in the audience. But yeah, you'd always want India to win, because they're a bunch of great guys and I love them.
No one's watching this.
That's the least sincere thing I've seen. A bunch of great guys.
They're all good. Talk about the women's team, the Indian women's team as well. I imagine you're close with them, because I came across a tweet from a couple of years ago when India had been knocked out by South Africa in the semi-final, and you were working at that game. And I saw a tweet that said, at the end of the game last night, as we were leaving the field, Sanjana changed direction and went up to a very dejected Indian player. She said, "I'm so proud of you. You are my hero." It is easy to say things on social media. It means a lot to say in real life. Are you going to tell me who that player was he went up to?
Yes, it was Pooja Vastrakar. And I've always felt really strongly about the women's team. I've started working with women's cricket around the same time that it started to grow in India. And they're a great bunch of girls. Every time I see them, they're like buddies to me. And to see them get so close and then sort of falter at that one stage, it breaks my heart, as it does a lot of people that work around women's cricket, and Indian women's cricket, because they're a great bunch of girls and they deserve to win everything. Again, not biased at all. But yeah, I was walking back after I finished the show to the media area, and Pooja Wastrikar was standing outside, and she looked dejected. So I had to go up to her and tell her that, irrespective of what happened, and I know that it's hard to cope with these things as an athlete, but if I felt something, I felt that I should put it across, and if I had the opportunity, I chose to do that. And she was kind enough to say thank you and walked away. But I did my bit, and I was happy about that.
That's awesome. Just get into you a little bit, Sanjana. So, as far as I understand, before you were a sports presenter, you obtained a bachelor's degree in computer engineering.
I did.
And then, at that time, simultaneously worked as a model and an engineer.
Yes.
Are you overqualified to talk about cricket? Why are you spending time talking about cricket when you have these real hard skills?
So I started out thinking that's what I want to do with my life, and it got boring really quick. So I made the switch to cricket by accident. And now that I've worked in the industry for this long, I don't think I have any other real skills to be hired by anyone else anywhere. So you're stuck with me. But yeah, I'm from India, and Indian parents are all about the finish your college degree and have something to fall back on before you follow your hobbies and bring disgrace to the family. And that's what I did. I studied, I got my degree, and then they were okay with me doing what I wanted to do.
And now, if I may ask, now that you're a parent, do you understand why Indian parents are like that? Will you be like that with your son?
So this is something I've actually spoken to Jasprit about. I was like, how do we explain our job to our son when he grows up? You play a game for a living, and I talk about that game. So they're not real jobs, really, when you think about it.
Yes.
So we'll be okay with whatever he wants to do. We'll be supportive of him, and I think that we're not the typical Indian parents just yet. It might change very soon, but... Who knows?
Well, my dad thinks that I'm still in between stuff, which I am, I suppose, in many ways. So and maybe it never changes. What's Splitsville?
Oh gosh!
What is that?
And just for the
some
I just want to read this out. So where do we get this here?
Wikipedia.
No, well, yeah, there is some Wikipedia stuff. Here we go.
TV show.
Just for the non-Indian audience watching, listening to this, because we just need to be filled in.
Yes.
I'm reading this verbatim. Ganesan came to prominence in the controversial TV show Splitsville or Splitsvilla.
Yeah.
What is it?
Okay.
How do I watch it? Sounds incredible.
Oh God! It's
Are we allowed to ask about it?
Yeah.
So it used to be all the rage at a point. I don't even know if it exists anymore or whether it continues. But it's like the Indian Love Island. It was
okay.
It was back when in 2012, 2013.
Right. Okay.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Long
A great time for television.
Yes. Let's not remember that I'm a mother now.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah.
I see where this is going. This is another life.
Yeah.
Yes. That we all live.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
Yes. So I had just finished participating in this Miss India pageant, and I was trying to find my way around it. I had finished my education, and I had realized very early on that sitting behind a computer screen is just not going to cut it for me.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find my feet, and I didn't know where to do that. And a friend of mine was working on the production of this show, and she's like, you know what you should do? Splitsvilla. And I don't know why. I was like, yeah. And I went on there. And it's all very scripted and very controlled, and it's not like what you watch on air at all. I was there for 3 days. I did one task and broke my arm, and they sent me back home.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah, but it got me enough eyeballs for people to know who I was, and then for me to be able to go to a broadcaster or just find my way around and get more jobs. So
and here we are now.
Here we are.
Yeah, that's right.
Splitsvilla, is it?
Splitsvilla.
Villa.
Yeah.
Villa. Okay. Right. Well, that's my new favourite show.
Yeah, that's right. I'll be
A lot
looking
of
at
crying
it.
and screaming.
Oh,
and,
perfect. Yeah.
I fell down.
Have we made a mistake by bringing this up to an audience as well? Like, we're going to get more.
I mean, I believe that I don't want to have any regrets, and I don't. And it's something I did, and along the way, and that's okay.
Great.
Yeah, we were all young once.
Exactly.
I'm sure you guys are still young.
So you're please. Seriously, do you have any hyaluronic acid for these crow's feet developing? Two boys. So you began your career in cricket broadcasting working at KKR.
Yes.
Is that right? The nightclub. So born in Pune, worked at KKR. someone who plays for MI is married to you.
Yes.
Who do you follow? What's what's your what are your where's your cricket passions or fandom lie?
So for a really long time, it was KKR. I got the opportunity to work with the franchise through the broadcaster I was working with at the time. And I didn't have I used to watch the IPL as a fan. I didn't really have an allegiance. And then I developed one, and a strong one at that. And they never won when I was there. And then I fell in love with somebody who plays for the Mumbai Indians. And I had to switch. I was mocked at the Mumbai Indians camp a fair bit for being somebody who supports KKR. And then I sort of, I mean, what was I expecting?
This year was a good year.
Yeah.
For KKR.
It was. So I joke with a lot of my friends from the franchise that, so we all eventually over the years moved out of KKR and they basically like flushed us all out and then went on to win the championship. Were we the problem? Maybe. But yeah, so I don't have a favorite team right now.
Yeah.
It's still KKR. No. I mean, whoever wins is great for me. And Mumbai Indians, I hope they do well because they're a good team and they won the championship 5 times. Yes, that too, yeah.
Is that how you met Jasprit, working, like interviewing? Is that how?
I met Jasprit, so I knew of him through the IPL and I'd seen him on and off.
Yeah.
But I really got talking to him at the the Cricket World Cup in 2019.
Oh, okay, yeah,
yes.
right. Okay.
Yeah, at Trent Bridge in Nottingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked to Laura McGoldrick the other day.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that.
So
she's great.
Martin Guptill is married to her.
Yes.
So for everyone in the media who refers to you as Jasprit Bumrah's wife, should more people refer to Jasprit as Sanjana Ganesan's husband?
Yes.
Yeah.
If they're referring to him, then they should. They should. And I think that happens. I mean, everybody, usually they're all talking about me because I'm the one trolling people on social media. he's just playing the good cricket. So he's just Jasprit Bumrah. But the association usually is from my end. So it's usually Sanjana Ganesan, wife of Jasprit Bumrah. But you know what? I don't mind it. It's the truth. So
yeah.
And why doesn't he up in the bowling?
That's a question I have as well.
That better have been a one-off the other day, seriously. Anyway,
They're not letting me sit in on the team meeting, so.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unfair.
Yeah.
Let's Sanjana in, I say. Into the team meetings.
Player, man. What a player.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I got to ask, and we did the same thing with Laura the other day in relation to the 2019 World Cup. Were you working on November 19 last year? And either way, how did you experience that day? Are you prepared to talk about it? You know, can we discuss what happened at Modi Stadium?
Yeah, so I was not working because I had given birth a month and a half ago.
Right.
So I was at home with my baby. We were watching the game, and the really sad thing was that the campaign was so great. Through the World Cup, they played so well. It all looked like it was coming together.
Yeah.
They pulled you in. They were like, "This is ours. We're going to do this."
People talk about, is this the greatest ODI team of all time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Turns out Australia is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
There's
Sorry.
both. No, there's pain.
There's still pain. We're not quite ready.
But keep going. Because I'm enjoying it.
So I was at home.
Sorry.
I was watching the World Cup from home and keeping our baby alive and well, helping him grow. We couldn't make it to the final because then we'd have to get on a flight to get to Ahmedabad, and we weren't doing that with the baby just yet because he wasn't vaccinated.
Yes.
And I was really bummed about that because we went to see the semi-final, and I actually took Angad along with us for a little bit, and that was his first stadium experience. Awesome. And I was worried because if and when, at that point it was when, for me, they win this World Cup and we're watching at home on TV. My son's going to grow up, and in 15 years he's going to ask me, my father had his career best moment in Ahmedabad, and why wasn't I there? Why was I at home? And I didn't have any answers to that. It started off okay, and then it got bad real quick. And it was heartbreaking. It wasn't really about coming to terms with it for me because I still had a lot going on in the background. Just as a new mother, I was obviously really sad about what happened, and I spoke to Jasprit soon after, and it was just crushing to hear his voice. But honestly, can I be really honest with you? There was like the tiniest bit of me that I was happy about it because he didn't win the World Cup when we weren't in the stadium.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I see what you
No,
mean.
that's good honesty.
Yeah.
So I mean, as
And it would have
terrible
been
as it
selfish,
sounds-
really, if he had one in that situation. You've given birth, you're looking after the son.
Yeah.
You know, and
No, I mean,
how rude would it be if he went to win the World Cup?
And he's gone off to work.
No, I 100% wanted him to win. Him and
Of course,
the team.
we understand.
We understand. We understand.
But like, there was a part of me that was like, you know what? I want to be in this. And also, I've worked on so many World Cups now as a broadcaster, and I wasn't there working. So, I mean, I'd be bummed that I've been to so many World Cup finals, and the one that mattered, I was at home in my pajamas.
Yeah.
So but it still stung, and it does to this day.
Well, there might be another chance in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes, that's what.
Then whenever the next one is, probably very soon, probably in like 6 months or something.
Yeah. A lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what do you think about Team India's chances this World Cup? Do you think they're ready to bounce back? I mean, a lot of people would say that there is a psychological barrier there for Team India around winning World Cups. I'm trying not to say that smiling. I mean, it's just a fact. But what do you think about that heading into this World Cup?
I feel very positive. I feel that the addition of Rishabh Pant in the mix once again, Jasprit's back. He missed out 10 months of cricket last year. And I think they've got a good bunch of boys. They've got some good talent there. It's a matter of them just pushing through. And I think that they have what it takes. I want them to win. And I think that they can.
Yeah, I mean, what are you really going to say to that question? Like, look, no, I think they're a bit short.
Pakistan look good, I think, this year. Yeah.
They're going to win this. Do not use this to back ref if that does not happen. It's going to happen.
As someone that's obviously now cricket is part of the family as well. I mean, actually, the star player is, in the household every day. Like, is it? Did it change your relationship to cricket at all? Obviously, you're working in it. I mean, cricket is your life. I mean, and it is for so many people, but for you, it's like it's an intimate connection as well.
And in India,
and in
and
all of
immersed
it,
with it all the time.
and with like your popularity, I'm sure like your profile has probably even risen since you've been married as well. And so like, has that changed your relationship to the game?
Yes. It's just I can't switch it off at all now because initially when I worked and then I went home, I didn't have to worry about it. But now when I'm not working, Jasprit's doing something, so then the cricket's always on. And in the best way possible. I think that it's something that means so much to my husband and to me. We have conversations about it and we travel for it and we're here in New York City. So it has. If anything, it's brought me closer to the sport and it's deepened my understanding of the game even more. Test cricket was something I didn't quite enjoy before I got married because it was long and they gave us lunch at 11:30 in the morning. Who does that? But since I got married and I've been watching Test cricket, it's become one of my favorite formats. So yeah, so things have changed.
Yeah. You come out to Australia for this summer?
I am,
yes.
Yes,
Oh, fantastic.
yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to make a comparison between what we do and what you guys do, but just to speak about the relationship with the game. When you are immersed with it all the time, the relationship can change with it, and it's always around you. Like, do you guys make efforts to try and distance from it if you do get time together as a family and get away from it, or do you just accept it and that it's always somewhere close to you in your life?
It's always there, but for us, time as a family is very normal. And for all of our relationship, really, before we got married, it wasn't a big thing at all because we didn't put it out on social media and we didn't tell people outside of our friends and family, so no one knew. So we were very normal, just two normal people in love. Just hanging out and no one really bothered us. We went out for dinners and we hung out with our parents and friends and it was all okay. And then we got married and it all just blew out of proportion and I was just thrown into the spotlight as let's troll her. So I mean, it's always going to be there, but because we had that foundation of like normalcy in the early days of our relationship, it's just easy to implement that now. So we know how to switch off and we just do very normal husband, wife, mum, dad things. Yesterday we went grocery shopping. Nobody spoke about cricket. So we found a way to sort of switch on and switch off between the sport, and it works for us.
We've been so lucky in the last few years just to get closer to the Indian team, and by that I mean just seeing them in the flesh, right? And it's funny because the celebrity is, and you're the same. Like is so profound, and then you see them in real life, and they're just guys.
Yeah.
They're just and like
Young guys too.
they're just young men, like in their 20s.
Yeah.
They're just innocent men. And like we were at the game yesterday for India Ireland, and might have even been it was Siraj and someone else. We're just doing a lap around the field, like 2 hours before play, and the cacophony of noise, people cheering because they get to see their heroes right for the first time. It's really exciting, and they're just doing a lap. They're just running around, and like you get this sense like that these guys carry the weight. Like it sounds many people smarter than me have very eruditely laid out what that pressure must be like, but then you see it. It's like it's overwhelming what that pressure must be like, and then I don't know. I haven't got a question, but like it's just an observation, I suppose.
No, absolutely. Jasprit speaks about it so much. He says that he doesn't let the outside noise affect him, and that he just has to go about doing what he does. But the outside noise is loud, and at some point, I'm sure he gives it a thought. Because you can't escape it. There's no way. But I think they've developed a mechanism now to just sort of compartmentalize it and just push that away and be able to go about doing what they're doing. Because if I was in that position, I would be sitting on the ground crying every day. I'd just be rocking back and forth. It's like too many people need too many things from me. But yeah, it's exceptional what they managed to do and to just silence that noise and be able to play cricket at the highest level and do it well.
Yeah, totally.
And for you, though, you just mentioned trolls before a few times. We have minor experience with it, but it would be on a far grander scale for you by virtue of your popularity. I mean, how do you... And you know, social media is an important tool for presenters, being seen. You know, you are competing to be a narrator of the sport, so putting yourself out there is really important. How do you go with trolls and commenters? Are you able to compartmentalize it? Do you have strategies, or do you have tactics you could share with people who might be in similar situations?
Yes and no, but mostly no. I have my days. I haven't fully gotten a grip on how to deal with everything that's thrown at me on social media. On some days, I'm self-actualized and centered, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to pay attention. And then there are days that I'll just open Instagram to innocently look at some reel, and the comment will just pop up, and then I'll just see red, and it's all blurry, and I'll just go reply, and then it's news. But yeah,
you've had some good replies before, though. I've seen it. You are good.
A couple of clapbacks?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So I don't know how to deal with it. So I lash back. And ultimately what I want to do is help a troller understand that he's saying something, he or she is saying something to a real person. And is it something you would say to a real person's face? I don't entirely think so. So I just want them to realize that it's going to come back to you if you're going to say something to somebody and just expect it to get lost into the universe. But the problem with what I've been doing is that now people just write comments expecting a response from me. It's gone into another zone of like, they're not really saying stuff to me. They just want me to reply, and then they'll get the 5 minutes of fame. So
the amount of people that will say something mean to you, then you reply and they say, big fan. Big fan.
Right. All the time.
It's like, it's just I'm sure it's just a factor of 1.3 billion people. Like, it's just the same ratio as 27 million in Australia. Like, yeah, there are bad people, and there are more wonderful people. It's just the amount of people. When you go to India, it's like, can't get a size of like a sense of the scale of the place. And so, and it feels like there are more bad people. But they're not. It's just there's so many good people. But
yes,
most of them comments. People who choose to comment.
Yeah,
like
no normal, including on this video.
I mean, please do comment for engagement. If you want to say something nice.
And say something nice. Just say something nice.
Yeah.
For the algorithm.
But I also think that a lot of the trollers know that if they say something nice, more often than not, it's just going to get lost in a sea of like heart emojis and like "we love you" comments. So that if they say something mean, now that might irk her. How bad can we make it so she notices? So that's
exactly right. It incentivizes trolling those algorithms, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've had a lovely time.
So have I.
You're a very impressive woman.
Thank you. And I really enjoyed being on here. It's been my dream. I won't lie. I've thought about it ever since Sam asked me. I was like, yes, I'm going to be on The Great Cricketer. I told Jasprit at least 7 times that I'm going to be on this podcast till he got sick of me.
Yeah, then he's like, what's that?
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. What's that thing?
Yeah, but I had a fantastic time. Thank you for chatting to me.
Oh, Sanjana, Ganesan, absolutely. The pleasure is ours here in Central Park.
Well, split even. I'll say 50-50, both sides.
Just trying to offer one compliment, but we're Australian men, so compliments, you do it, then you've got to pull it back.
Yeah.
That's our own issue. Don't worry about that.
Australia's going to win the World Cup.
Said it deaf.
But they might. So. Damn it. I'm sad now.